there, Latin 2. This is chapter 51. Something tells me I'm going to have to cut this into two parts because it is long. So Cornelia is obviously coming of age because she now has value as someone who can breed with someone else, cementing the relationship between a father and a young man as political allies. Tradition. Now we're going to see Marcus coming of age as well. So Roman boys very often would... they would all do it at the same time, interestingly enough, so it didn't really matter what their manufacture date was, so much as in their 16th year, at certain times of the year, there was a big ceremony for a whole bunch of the boys in the city. And this is the coming of age ceremony for a boy. Once you turn 16, it's time to put away the childish things, it's time to take up the toga of manliness and prove yourself and all kinds of stuff. So, it was now the month of March. It was the day of the Liberalium, which actually you'll see on the back or on the previous page. It's the Liberalia. It's a fertility festival, actually. God of wine, the grapes, the drinking, the carousing, and all that. On which day Roman young men were accustomed to take up the toga pura, which is the plain white toga. Let's see. Many months ago, Marcus had completed his 16th years, or 16 years. Pardon me. That's not ordinal; it's cardinal. Now he would take up the toga virilis, the toga of manhood, the manly toga, and so Cornelius had invited his friends and his clients, his friends and all his clients. To come together at his house on that day. Apud se never means with him. It means at the house of that person. Let's see. Everyone was knowing that the father of Marcus was most rich, and everyone was having for certain that he would give the greatest or the best dinner to his friends. The house of Gaius Cornelius was full of noise or uproar and noise and shouting. So many and such different people were gathering there that the doorkeeper, having set out a little from the doorway, in other words, here's the doorway, he's standing out in front of it a little bit further, was standing anxious standing in the threshold itself. Normally, if you're the doorkeeper, you stand behind the door, but he's standing not just behind the door, but like on the threshold, okay, which is odd. Now, the next sentence, si quis, short little lesson here. Si nisi numen ne, all the alleys go away. Si nisi num and ne, all the alleys go away. So si quis actually is si aliquis. So if anyone was approaching, he was asking him, he being the doorkeeper was asking him, that would be the anyone, in a loud voice, who he was and what he was wanting. He was asking some to head into the house, or to proceed into the house. Others, he was asking others. So the asking, it comes back to that. Others, he was praecipiebant. He was ordering, and that takes a dative. That's why aliis. He was ordering others to remain in the street. So here you see a bunch of indirect commands. So go back to the indirect command chapter if you're having trouble here. Non nulli. I love that word. It means some, because it's not none. However, some who neither were friends of Cornelius nor his clients approached to the house. And notice aproping quo takes a dative. That's why domui. Approached to the house. Because they were wishing or they were hoping that Cornelius would invite them to dinner. These people were begging the doorkeeper not to send them away. However, he, the doorkeeper, was ordering them, again, ordering often takes a dative, to depart immediately. So piss off. At last, with all the things having been prepared, Cornelius asked his whole household. So familia means household. It's everybody that you're responsible for. Not just your family, but also your slaves, but also your clients, the people who were your sycophants and did favors for you. They're part of your household. This is where I recommend to you to watch Godfather Part 1 and Part 2. So he asked his whole household to come together into the atrium. The relatives were there. Many friends were there. More clients were there, or several clients were there. All the slaves and the freedmen of the Cornelii were there. And that was expected, by the way. If you were freed by someone, you were still tied to their household, which meant that you still had someone to run to for protection. You just had the right of a citizen to vote. You had that signet ring now, which meant a lot, actually. Like if you were called into court, you could actually testify without being tortured, because that was a thing they did. Let's see. Everyone was talking amongst themselves. Everyone was rejoicing because they had been invited to this ceremony of the toga of manhood. Let's see. Marcus was standing in the atrium before the lararium, which is a household shrine. Let's see. He holding the toga praetexta and his bulla, his golden bulla, which is the locket, in his hands. He felt the eyes of everyone he felt that the eyes of everyone had turned toward him. Let's see. Everyone became silent. Marcus first. Let's see. Marcus first dedicated his toga praetexta and his bulla before the shrine, or having been put before the shrine, to the lares, the family gods. These are typically ancestors. These are not the... there's two words. There's the lares, and then there's another word I'm forgetting right now because there's a bug in my way. I will get back to you on it. I can't quite remember. But anyway, he dedicated them to the family gods. Now, he said, I put down these childish things here. Hic means here, because it has a macron. Now, I dedicate these things gladly to you all, O family gods, or family ancestors. And I will finish up with the rest of it, because I don't want this to go too long for you. So when I see you again, it will be chapter 51b. All right, I'm going to hit the button.